10 days, 2 guys, 1 game jam. Can we do it? Let's find out. Now, usually a game jam of this size isn't a problem for my friend and I. Together we've done games in 1 week, 48 hours, and even 3 hours. So what's the big deal with this one? Well, I'm on vacation and my friend is working full time, so the schedule is going to be a little crunched on this. Thankfully we have a full 10 days to sneak and work on it. That being said, it's going to be a crunch regardless, so let's get started. The jam we're competing in is the Lost Relic Games Game Jam, and the theme is connection. After a bit of brainstorming, my friend and I decided to make a game about 2 robots connecting to share power in order to solve puzzles and do combat. Sounds easy, right? Well, let's find out. We fired up Default, we got hit with some wisdom, and we started a new project. We started off by making 2 main characters that can move around the level and then added a way to swap between them. Now, for the moment we're using placeholder art. We have to make sure the game is actually fun before we fully commit to it. So right now we have Dirty Dan and Jack Sparrow. Next, we slapped on a horror lo-fi shader from the King's Euro X9 to add an extra visual flair to the game. Then we took a few days to make sure we have the basic mechanics of shielding and shooting down. When the player shoots, it takes a little bit of battery just to keep things interesting. We also added assistance to let players recharge their battery to full at any time. Characters can also share battery with each other to help out in tricky situations. Next, I worked on a simple platformer AI. The guy just wanders back and forth until he starts the player. When he does, he starts blasting. One character can deal damage to him, the other character can freeze the enemy. While frozen, the other robot can do critical damage. One of our main design goals was to have lots of collaboration like this. We can easily fall into a trap where one character does everything and the other just kind of exists there. To hammer that point home, I created a few additional systems, such as 2 switches that must be pulled at the same time to open a door. There's also a pressure plate where multiple characters need to stand on a door to open it. There's also this fire trap thing where a shielded character can just run through it, otherwise you'll get burned. With all of these mechanics in place, I was able to make a little demo level to make sure everything feels good. Now that we have the basics, we can start working on the hard part, the art. Now, every now and then, I'm blessed enough to work with an amazing artist, but she's leaving me on red for some reason? Yeah, your guess is as good as mine. Now, I'm a man of science, computer science specifically, not really art. I'm a fan of the take an image and shake it around to create animation technique. I've done some animation work in the past. It turned out rather well in my opinion, but given that I'm on vacation, I simply don't have time to do that right now. So let's see what I can do with what I have. The first thing I found was a good color palette. I tried a few custom designs, but I really didn't like any of them, so I resorted to using an old friend, the Kenny 1-bit pack, to find some examples. Then I changed color palette. I made some slight adjustments to Kenny's art and shaded. After literally several hours, I had 3 characters done. Next, I added in some UI elements. I upgraded some of the other placeholder art. Lastly, I made this cool CRT power off screen effect. Now, that wasn't too bad. Everything actually seems to be going really well. But then, tragedy struck. Last night, a giant storm hit my friend's house and he lost power. With several power lines down, we had no clue when he'd get his power back. Well, looks like this is the end of that project.
You
know what? Thanks, disembodied voice. The hard part's done. All I have to do is make a game. Typically, I leave level design to my friend, but this time I actually had a bunch of cool ideas. The first level I made involved robots climbing vertically to escape lava. I was able to make this really cool lava effect using just 2 art tiles that kind of scroll back and forth. I also made a particle FX for the lava bubbles to give it a little bit more of a flair. I designed this huge final boss but realized I didn't have time to program it, instead scrapped it and made another lava level. I also designed a blue switch that the shield robot has to blast with his gun in order to open something temporarily, and I built an entire level around that mechanic. I had a few other ideas too, like one where the 2 robots couldn't lose sight of one another and had to be visually connected, but I couldn't figure out how to visually depict that in a meaningful way and had to scrap it. Man, I'm making some good progress. I wonder what Jared is up to.
Dang it.
So, we're on the last day now. My friend's power is back online. He's going to finish off the levels while I work on the sound effects and music. Thankfully, I have a bunch of pre-purchased audio from websites such as this one. The Robot Transformation Synthesized Electronic Computerized Beeping Evolution Morph Sound 08. Rolls right off the tongue, doesn't it? I wrote some code to slowly mute sounds so the player gets further from them. I ended up with this. Yeah, I'm not sure what it does either. What matters is that it works, and that it does. I took a few extra hours to add in every single sound effect. I have over 40 in total. So we ran into a problem where the enemy was too hard in the beginning levels, so I think it's time to make a new one. The art has been turning out pretty good so far. Look at this lava animation, it's fire! Art school, here I come. I don't need any stinking art palette. Using my programming skills, I think I can just change all of the green RGB values to be more green. So let's try that. And big reveal. Oh no, he's ugly. What have I created? I'm going back to the color palette website. I clearly need it. So after some consideration, I'm not going to apply to art school. I think I just get rejected. Oh, hold on. I gotta take this. Hello, hello.
Hey, so I got the tutorial ready if you want to try it out.
Oh, heck yeah.
So what do you think?
I think it's good. Do you mind if I make a few adjustments?
Yep, do what you gotta do.
Well, now that that's fixed, we can work on some other polish for this. I went through and added a nice aesthetic fade around the levels. We also figured out the name of the game, Static Lifeline. Now everything's good, I just have to build the game, and I can call it oh, it's just a black screen. So after doing a little bit of digging, we discovered that my save system was throwing an error instead of just not loading anything. I know, real bright, right? So we built it again, and I can finally call it a night. Oh, come on! So after fixing that, the game was finally uploaded, and everything felt good. I created a title card, which turned out rather nicely, I might add. Wait, what's that symbol in the corner? Well, back in 2021, I gave myself a challenge. 12 games, 12 months, 1 story. I was able to forge together a little universe of interconnected games. When I finished the challenge, I felt like the story was far from complete, so I decided to keep working on it. I decided to canonize this game and have added a secret bonus level to help clarify its place in the story. The game is now released on itch.io. You're free to go and play it. There is both a Windows and a web version of it. Just as a heads up, there's a known issue where if you spam print screen or if the game lags a lot, the character will kind of fall through the ground. Some other people are reporting that it's happening all the time, others not so much. I attempted to create a code fix. It mostly fixes it. Okay, maybe not. Oh boy, this is gonna take a bit. Maybe it's a good trick for speedrunning? Is that a valid excuse to leave something horribly broken? I'll be posting a fix sometime in the future. Feel free to check the game out. I'd love feedback, both on the game and this video. This is the first time I've ever tried to do something like this. If you like the video, feel free to press like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and God bless.